Sherry Butters.
Good evening. This is Sherry Butters. I'm a resident of District 7. I'm here to share my support of the resolution that Daniel Mahoney has put forth to declare racism a public health crisis. I serve as manager for the Jackson Collaborative Network. In this role, I support a network of more than 500 members that are working together to identify and address root causes of issues that affect the well-being of Jackson County residents. As a network, we envision a community that is healthy, safe, and thriving. We seek a community that is equitable, engaged, and constantly learning. Every 3 years, we do a community assessment to understand community conditions. Most recently, we focused on things like access to healthcare, transportation, employment, income, and food and housing stability. So some of the disparities that we found, our community is racially segregated. More than half of all Black residents live within the city of Jackson, compared to just 15% of white residents. We are economically divided. 64% of Black residents made less than $25,000, compared to 33% of white residents. 63% of our Black children in Jackson County live in poverty, compared to just 23% of white children. The educational systems that are in place are not helping Black students achieve their full potential, especially male students. Only 9% of Black males in Jackson County have a bachelor's degree or higher. And what we know is that having a bachelor's degree almost doubles your earnings potential. Infant death rates for our Black babies in Jackson are 6 times higher than that of white babies, 6 times higher. The data makes it clear that the systems that are in place in our community produce inequitable outcomes for our Black residents. In order to change those results, we have to address the systemic and institutional racism that are part of these systems. Tonight, I join others in issuing a call to action. Racism is a public health crisis. It's infecting the systems that are that are in place to serve the needs of Jackson County residents, and that infection is harming Black residents significantly higher than it is white residents. So I urge you to take action today. Thank you.
Uni Cunningham.
Hello, I'm Uni, also Maisha Cunningham, and I am in support of Daniel Mahoney's resolution, racism as a public health crisis. I can't echo any more than what everyone else has said. You've heard the stats, you've heard personal experiences, and so we need change. We cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And it's time for us to move beyond what we're calling being proactive and actually moving to make change happen in our community. I appreciate the statement that was read at the beginning of this meeting. However, I have pushback. My pushback is that I don't see it fully playing out the way that it was said. When you look at how Sheriff Rand has been allowed to stay in office and say the most racist and sexist and homophobic things, I do not see the city of Jackson backing up what they're saying in this statement. If you truly care about your Black residents, then now is the time for you to put your money where your mouth is. Show us through action. And so once again, I am in support of Daniel Mahoney's resolution, racism as a public health crisis, and I yield my time.
Did you call on me? This is Josh.
Hello?
Yep. Things went silent for a second. My name is Josh Gillette. I am the
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? All right. My name is Josh Gillette. I'm the lead pastor of Cascades Baptist Church. In addition to my seminary degrees, I hold a master's degree in counseling and am a licensed professional counselor. I support Commissioner Mahoney's resolution to declare racism a public health crisis. Public health studies have shown that racism among Black Americans, or that the Black Americans experience in their daily lives, creates stress that affects their overall physical health. This results in higher prevalence of chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, asthma, diabetes, shorter lifespans. This crisis involves and often is very much driven by economic factors. In our nation, the average Black family's worth is 1/10 that of the average white family. COVID-19 pandemic alone, according to one study, is killing Black Americans at a far greater rate than white Americans. I understand that the term racism is a loaded word. People tend to think of racism as an individual thing, and that is both regrettable and inaccurate. My goal here isn't to assign blame or make accusations of intentional bias on the part of any person, group, or city. I do acknowledge that both intentional and unintentional biases exist, but those acts of bias, whether intentional or unintentional, have consequences. This is compounded when we consider our 400-year history of systemic racism, a racism which was, as we all know, legal for the vast majority of that history. Now is the time for this community to take action. I applaud my fellow pastor who just said that she agrees and loves the public statements that have been made both here and before, statements supporting equality, justice, and love. But as scripture teaches us, faith without action is a dead faith. So as a Christian, as a pastor, as a mental health professional, I strongly urge you to support Commissioner Mahoney's resolution to declare racism a public health crisis. Thank you.